Okay, grade 2, we are back with our story. The last time we read about them going to Mr. Noise, or that's how I said it. I don't know if it's Noyes, because we realized it's a play on the words no and yes, because if they walk from the one way, it says yes. If they walk from the other way, it says no. And they are hoping that he says yes for fixing their clock. Okay. Before I get started, I quickly want to tell you, so far we've had about 6 characters. A character is a person in the story, okay? Not a person, sometimes it's an animal, but it depends on who the story is about. The people in the story are called my characters. All right. So we've had Whizz's dad. He's one of the characters. Whizz's mom, Whizz, her brother Max. I almost said Sam. Her brother Max. They are already 4 characters. You can see them. The cat does not count as a character because he hasn't done anything. You know what I mean? He's just a picture in the drawing of them, but we will not count him as a character because he hasn't played any role. Then there was Pip, right? Pip is another character in the story. And then last time we found out about Mr. Noise, or Mr. Yeah, let's just say Noise. Mr. Noise. Okay. This, I'm guessing, is Mr. Noise. Let's quickly take a look at his shop. There are a bunch of things jumping out. Everything seems broken, but apparently he fixes things. I don't understand how. Maybe these are the things he hasn't fixed yet. We'll see about that. Okay. Good. Let's read. Yeah, I'm going to put it like this so that we can read nicely together. If when you brought back the packets, we forgot to put back the reading passage, you can just read from here, okay? So maybe if you want to read it on your own before I read it with you, you can pause and read it on your own and then listen to the way that I read it, or you can listen to how I read it, play the video again, and then pause when you see this part. Okay, so here we go. The shop was open when they got to it. Mr. Noise was inside. "Let's all go in then," said Whizz. "But be good, Max, and don't touch things." It was dark in the shop. Mr. Noise was at work in the back. He sat at a bench and worked under a small, low light. Mr. Noise mended clocks and watches. He also repaired typewriters and cut keys. "Look at all those clocks up there," said Max. Mr. Noise looked up. He was dressed in a grubby brown overall, and he had a small black cap on his head. Here are a lot of adjectives. Grubby brown overall, that's telling us more about the overall, which is a noun. And small black cap is telling us more about the cap that is on his head. And the cap is a noun, so small and black are adjectives. How do you do? How do you do?" he said. "Can I help you?" "Please," said Whizz. "Can you mend this clock?" "Well, I can try," said Mr. Noise. "Let me have a look at it. Bring it here to the back of the shop." So far, he seems like he's going to say yes. I don't know. What do you think about that? Cute. Okay, so he's having a look at the clock under his low light. He looks angry, but he doesn't sound angry. Okay, let's see what he says. Mr. Noise examined the clock under his small, low light. Then he took off the case and looked at the works. "Well," he said, "it's a very old clock, but the works inside are still quite good. What it needs is a good clean. If you want to leave it with me, I can have it ready by next week." Whizz's face fell. Okay, quickly. That doesn't mean her face fell off or anything. It just means that maybe from a smile or something, it went into a frown. Okay? So, Whizz's face fell. She had hoped Mr. Noise would mend the clock there and then. "Would it cost very much for you to clean it?" she asked. Mr. Noise looked at Whizz over the top of his glasses. I'm afraid it would, he said. I'm so sorry for that fly. I'm afraid it would, he said. I don't think it would cost much more to buy a new clock. The old man could see Whizz was disappointed. There's one way I could clean it, which would not cost very much. Now, have I got any hot water? That's where we're going to stop for today. I want you to go think about what is this man going to do with hot water and the clock. Don't read ahead. Let's do that part together. I want you to go guess, go think, no, estimate's not really going to work in this sense, but go guess. What do you think he's going to do with the hot water and the clock that is going to not cost that much? And then also, I have another little task for you. Okay. We talked about the characters of the book. I think in the guidelines I said you need to write down the names of 3 characters, which is fine. You can do that. Write down the names of any 3 characters. But after that, I want you to choose one. If you choose Mr. Noise, that's fine. If you choose Whizz, that's fine. If you choose Pip, that's fine. And I want you to write 3 things about them. So if you choose Mr. Noise, take a piece of paper or something. Actually, you can do it in your workbook if you want. Just write at the top, Whizz and the old clock. Draw a line and then write Whizz. Then you can write down, she's a girl, she really likes the old clock, and she has a brother named Max. There we go. 3 things about the character, okay? I want you to describe the character for me in 3 sentences or by writing down 3 things about them. You can choose any one of the characters that we talked about in the beginning. It does not have to be Whizz. It will actually be more interesting if you choose one of them that is not Whizz, because there's the most information about her. But yeah, so that's a small challenge that I'm giving to you. You can write it in your workbook. Don't stress about it, but I want you to try your best to describe one of the characters for me in 3 sentences.